Now that is really good. That's extremely good. That's something that even a 10-year-old child would not throw in the trash can.
We
I
call
like it.
I'm sure we're not supposed to call it this, but we call it Shrek juice.
Okay, very
we
good.
tell my niece that I just squished Shrek into it, and she's so thrilled by that she'll drink anything that's green now.
That's great. They'll probably put that on their next show. They Shrek 18 or whatever they're at. So, but yeah, it's really, really good, and it's green. I think Naked Juice, the Naked brand, has actually now here's where you want to be a little bit careful of the Naked brand, is that everything is chock full of banana. Banana has a very high glycemic spike, and so if in other words, you want to go to somebody who can customize your juices for you, and they have the green machine that they have, but they've at least popularized it where people know that if it's green and it's a juice, it doesn't necessarily taste bad.
But one of the things that I would strongly encourage people who are first-time juicers or who are just getting into this is to really drink the juice as close to juicing as possible. So try not to store it for too long. These vitamins, a lot of them they oxidize with the air. So the second you take them out of their whole food environment, like whole apple, they're going to start to oxidize, which means you're going to start losing nutrition. So it's best to get a juicer that kind of fits your abilities to dedicate time to it. The centrifugal ones are rather fast, which is fantastic, and then you can drink it right up. So.
I do love that. Last night I made 52 ounces of juice, which I would not recommend to your children. I put in a lot of bell peppers. I put in ginger. I put in two whole limes, but they were small limes, so I didn't peel them. I just threw them in.
Yeah.
And I also had about 8 carrots that I put in there, not 24, but I had 8 carrots.
We get a lot of those questions. How many carrots are in here? I'm like, oh.
And when I was done, I drank it down, and now it was surprisingly good.
Mm-hmm.
However, if you give it to a 10-year-old, you kind of have to have the mature, this is good for me, and you drink it down.
You know what I would suggest to that recipe, if you were giving it to a 10-year-old? Add a little bit of pineapple and some apple to it. Those two, they are sweeter. They're a little higher in the glycemic index, but most children, they'll burn that off.
Yeah, children normally don't have glycemic index problems.
They're just running with it. But it's what they'll taste first, and maybe ease off a little bit on the ginger, and delicious.
Yeah, it was very clean tasting, and it is funny that you say that because I let my wife, she took about 4 ounces of it, and she said, "Did you add apple to this?" I said, "No." "Does it taste like it?" She said, "No, but you should have." So her palate is.
All through the summer, we have one mom, and she's amazing. She always comes in and she'll grab these green juices and she'll mix it with a little bit more of like apple puree or a little bit of applesauce, and then freeze them in popsicles.
Oh, there you go.
Which is amazing. So her children have this, they get this sweet little bite of apple first, and then they end up with all of the delicious, nutritional value of greens and veggies. So.
Speaking of, because
a little bait and switch there.
Absolutely. I love it. Speaking of bait and switch, what I do with my leftover juicing, what would you call pulp?
The pulp, yeah.
Okay, I throw it into the crock pot and then I make a stew/soup out of it.
Oh, fantastic!
Yeah. So. Go ahead.
I highly recommend doing things like that because, one of the things that juicing does, specifically things like centrifugal juicers, is it removes a lot of the pulp, which is a lot of the fiber. And, it's definitely good for the body to have that. And a lot of people think that, say they have a cup of carrot juice, that compensates for eating a cup of carrots. And the truth is you get a very different set of nutrients by doing both. So if you do have the ability to save the pulp and use it in muffins and soups and down to even, we make raw crackers out of it. Yeah, we just puree it with a little bit of nut and put it on really thin sheets and let it dry. And it's fantastic. Yeah, it's absolutely fantastic.
Great minds think alike. So, and then there's a couple of things that I'm going to say: don't juice if you're at home. Don't try this at home. Is pomegranates?
Yes, that's not a good idea.
Oh,
very
so
bitter. Very, very bitter.
So, and I actually made a juice one time of pomegranates and Brussels sprouts.
Nice.
And it was definitely the most painful palate experience I've ever had. It was so bitter,
Yeah,
and
it's very astringent.
I didn't know that uncooked Brussels sprouts were pretty bitter as well. So it just about blew my mouth off.
I would also suggest not juicing garlic. We have a lot of people that recommend that, and while it has wonderful benefits to your body, you will also ooze garlic out of your pores.
The next day.
Yeah, and that's a little bit of a challenge for most people who don't necessarily work from home without anybody else around them.
That's where we recommend taking garlic, which is supposed to be odorless, right?
There you go.
But I know it's getting really close to the end of our show. Looks like we still have about 4 minutes. So I've done a little bit more extra talking than I should. So tell us a little bit about this story. I actually read it on your website online. But the creation of 24 Carats and what kind of made you get excited about creating a business?
Well, when I was in school, I worked at a little juice bar, and it was actually in a 60,000 square foot gym. So, I worked there for almost 2 years, and I got to know a lot of our customers. And one day we had a customer come in and ask me if the fruit was real in that juice. And, the truth was, I said, oh, no, I'm sorry, this is canned and, has sugar added to it. My manager took me aside and she was like, she asked you if it was real. She didn't ask you.
She wants you to do the marketing spin
and the truth
here.
is that's not what she was asking. She was asking me if it was processed. So I really wanted to work for a place that was transparent, that people could ask me, where do you get your produce from? When was this picked? That kind of thing. And I would have an answer that I was proud of to give back to them. And the truth is, my crew, I tell them, every time we hire someone new, I tell them this, that we don't live in a super trusting world. We don't leave our car keys out, we don't leave our purse on the sidewalk, we don't leave our front doors unlocked, but we walk into a restaurant and we don't know the person we're ordering it from, we don't know the person who's cooking it, but when it comes out to us, we immediately put it on our bodies. And that's a huge amount of trust. And at the end of the day, we take that seriously, and I wanted to make sure that I worked at a place that never forgot that. So 24 Carats, we encourage people to ask us questions, to be picky, to tell us, hey, this is what I want, and I want 15 extra carats, or I want all 24 carats, and we do our best to make sure that we live up to not only our own standards, but their standards as well, standards of nutrition as well.
That is great. So tell me what's in this Shrek juice here.
We call it the Incredible Hulk. Yeah, okay. So it's got basil, it's got kale, celery, cucumber, it's got some green apple, a little bit of pineapple and peach in there as well. It has wheatgrass, spinach. We actually use a variety of local greens. So say we get a harvest of beets that come in, we'll put beet greens in. And it's a nice way when people come in and order the same drink every day. They're actually getting a slightly different variation with slightly different vegetables in it. So it's a nice little base. But the pineapple, especially when you just wait for it to ripen, it's so sweet that you have the opportunity to really chock it full of greens that may be bitter otherwise. I think there's even collard greens in here.
Wow.
And your mind, your taste to nutrition is completely set.
I love it. Again, thank you for coming on the air here.
Thank you for having me.
At the Social Universe on World Talk Radio and Voice America. Thanks to our wonderful listeners for tuning into the show. And we want to give just a little bit of last minute promotion. So 24, now it's the numeral 2 and the numeral 4 carats.
Caratsjuice.com.
Caratsjuice.com.
Or you can find us on Facebook at just 24 Carats.
Or you can actually go down and, go there and then go down and get some of the juice, and also try out some of their vegan and vegetarian
That would be fantastic.
options.
Our favorite thing to do is to cook cupcakes and pancakes and things like that. Yeah.
All right, wonderful. And then I'm just going to leave you with this thought for all of you who are out there, is that I used to be 80 pounds heavier than I am. I blame a lot of it on a combination of juicing and eating vegetables, and lowering the amount of meats. Now, I'm not a vegan or a vegetarian, but I got pretty dang close to it as I lost all that weight. And I will tell you that my energy output is much higher. The way people treat me is much better because I have the right energy and the right image than where I used to be. So the reason why we have this on the show is for you to know that you need to treat yourself well in order for your business to succeed. Thanks for tuning in here to the Social Universe. We'll see you all next week.